OMG. Another Tuesday, baby. I'm so glad you could join me. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled because it ain't just another Tuesday on the Madjef Music Show. This day is a special day for a number of reasons, and primarily because of my guests. You know, you people ain't come here to see me, but if you did, I'm glad. But, I hope today you're here and tuned in because you heard that my guest is the one and only Keri Lewis. We're going to get into that a little bit. In the meantime, let me get my love. I'm him. You ain't got to clap for me, folks, but every time you clap for me, it makes me happy. I'm so glad y'all here today, man. This is a wonderful day. Anyway, I'm Jeff Taylor. I'm your host. They call me Madjef Music for a lot of reasons, and the primary reasons is I'm mad about this technology that allows me to do this, what I'm doing right now, and come into your living room and have this conversation with a music guest. And before we get into that, I wanted to just kind of go over a little bit of news of the day. The news of the day is Bobby Shmurda has just been released from prison. I'm not a comedian and I'm not making jokes, but that don't sound necessarily like good news. But I don't go to Jersey that much, so it's all good with me. Anyway, let me get into this little segue because I got this little book that I want to promote here. This is Book on the Dance Floor by my good friend Bruce Najjar, and he's a writer from Paris. I'm sure Bruce will appreciate that. He's a writer from Paris, and he's also he studied Michael Jackson and this is his second book on the subject, and he dives deep into the production that goes into the making of some of Michael Jackson's songs. His book is really cool, and one of the awesome things about his book is that he got me in his book. He put me in his book. So when you support him, you support me, you support Madjef, you support Bruce Najjar. Thank you so much. Hope you'll buy his book. It's on Amazon. You can go out there and cop that right now. So Bruce is that guy. That's enough from me. Because, you don't want to hear from me. You really don't want to hear from me like that. But you do want to hear from my dude. This dude, let me just tell you, let me stop this music cue, even though that's sexy. I'm going to stop that one because to introduce this dude, all I got to do is this. Hey, what? Hey, and if you got brown eyes, you already racing to the front of the stage because you know what's about to happen next. Oh, my God. Hey, I'm not going to get sued, so I'm going to turn that off. I'm not trying to get sued. But you know what time it is. Look, people, these dudes, Mint Condition, they still are a very dope band. Look, this album right here, it just kind of changed the game for modern R&B music. And our guest is one of these gentlemen in this group, one of the founders of this group. Look, I don't even know how to describe these guys other than to say that they are so talented. They're such a talented bunch of guys, man, that to have an opportunity to work in the studio with them is one that you never forget because each one is individually talented. Our guest, Keri, he in my opinion is one of the most creative people I've ever met. I've seen him sit down and just compose these hit songs like Pretty Brown Eyes and You Send Me Swinging and all these other things that you remember and you know. These guys are hit makers. They've been that for a long time. Keri he's a great guy. On top of that, hailing out of St. Paul, Minnesota. Enough talk. I like to hear myself talk. That's what my girlfriend is texting me right now. She says, stop talking. Get to your guest. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let me bring this man in here. Ladies, you know who this is? This is Keri Lewis right here, bro. Keri Lewis.
What's up?
My goodness, bro. Hey, man.
What's up, my guy?
It's been too long.
Man, it's been so long. So long. It's crazy. It's crazy.
My G, we go way back, man. We are literally like family. When I see you, I see a picture of you, even if I haven't talked to you in a while. When I see your face, I just think this is my brother right here because we always had that kind of relationship. And
likewise, bro.
I want to know so much, man. Like I'm sure so many other people do. I got comments coming in over here, and I'm trying to read them and talk to you. But I'm gonna wait until I get a chance to get you going and tell me a little bit about what's going on with you, and then I'll get into some of those comments. But a lot of people want to know. You're one of the founding members of the group Mint Condition. Mint Condition is still going. Lots of people also know that you left the group. You moved on to do some other things, and that happens in life. People move on. But the essence of what that group is, that people know of Mint Condition, those hit songs and in that 90s period, you were at the helm of that operation around that time, sharing that responsibility with Stokely and the other guys. And I was there. I know this is true. So I just wanted to point that out to people and get some insight on what that must be like to be the dopest R&B band, in my opinion, since Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh man, I appreciate that.
Talk to me about
Definitely
them early
appreciate that.
days, Kerry, because I want to know
Man,
about them early
you
days,
bringing me
bro.
back. You bringing me back now just talking about that. But no, it was great, man. I really miss those days. I miss the fellas. We still talk, all of us. We still keep in contact and still doing stuff, still doing music and all that. But yeah, them days were special, man, because we were trying to do something like that, like Earth, Wind, and Fire, and just kind of continue that tradition of bands and everything. Because really, around the time that we came along, and shortly before that, it was far and few between when it came to bands. You know what I mean? So
There was just no, in my opinion, I mean, yeah, I worked with you guys. I got a chance to get in the studio with you, work on some of your records and stuff like that. But that's not why I think you guys are great. I mean, I've seen you in the studio. I think you're great for that. But what kills me every time is I'm a guitar player, as you already know. And I used to always make this little joke to you guys, yo, man, I want to be in the band. Bro, I wasn't joking. That was not a joke. If there was any band I ever wanted to be in my life, it was Mint Condition because you brothers just really had
you
it
the
together.
eighth member.
Oh,
You the
see?
eighth member of the group.
Oh, this is it.
Shoot.
Bro, y'all better
All the
applaud.
hours we spent in the studio.
I'm
Shoot.
saying. I'm the eighth member. Kerry, say
That
that again. Say that again.
you the eighth member of the group, Madjef.
Now, it's officially a party. It's officially a party. It's been announced on air that I'm in Mint Condition. Kerry, did I mention that we was all the way live?
Oh
You know
yeah,
we are, without question. Look,
we good. We
my
good.
next question for you is this. I haven't had that issue,
Check
so.
check.
But anyway, we're good. We're moving on because this is being archived and recorded at the same time. We're streaming live, right? We ain't got
Cool.
no fear. People will
Cool.
chime in every now and then. I hear you just fine.
Right.
So anyway,
Great. Great.
those early days, man. And when I say early days, I do mean the early days. What?
That's actually before me right
That's
there.
before you. I wondered about that, man. I wondered. Well, I said, look,
But
Kerry, that's an
here's the
old
crazy
photo.
thing. Here's the crazy thing. The person that I replaced in the group, we just happen to really look alike.
What
Honestly,
what year was that, bro? What year is that right there?
that has got to be
God, that's early.
86.
That's around Ready for the World time. Because Ready for the World
Yeah,
was Matt. Well, those outfits are very Ready for the World, kind of oh
yeah.
Sheila-ish.
That's like
Yeah,
86, 87, I think.
that's
And I
dope.
actually got in the group in 89,
You did okay.
right at the
All right.
right at the top of 89. So you got Odell, you got Stokely, and you got Lawrence. Those are the three original. Then Ricky K came in the group after that. Jeff came in the group, um, and then me.
So, and that was in the early '80s. So, and then you joined the group, and you were living in St. Paul. I mean, you were all living in the same community, correct?
Yep. We are almost all of us went to the same high school, St. Paul Central. So when I got in the group, I was actually still in high school, going to St. Paul Central. But we're all kind of like 2 years apart. So Jeff had already graduated when I got in the group, and then Odell, and then Stokely before him. So
Incredible, incredible history. You guys have
yeah,
been together for a long time. So, but yeah,
long time, man.
and you were writing and producing and touring. So you guys get a lot of that kind of stuff together as a unit. Once you got that song "Pretty Brown Eyes," I mean, you basically hit the road after that, correct?
Yeah, we did. The song Lawrence and Stokely were writing, and then in rehearsal, we actually kind of formulated and put the rest of it together, and that's kind of how it came about. Um, and then from there, we just started performing it all around the Twin Cities, the clubs, and every little festival that was going on. And after a while, people were like, when we got ready to perform, people would start calling it out, like, "Do Pretty Brown Eyes," you know. So
Without
one
question.
of them joints, it was definitely on the demo tape.
Well, that's a song that, like I said, everybody knows that song, and people they were racing to the front of the stage when you hit that song
Yeah,
because of the nature of that intro, man. And who came up with that
yeah,
intro? What's up with that intro? You guys are always doing that kind of real dramatic
man.
stuff.
Yeah, we like the hard hitting kind of band sound, you know what I mean? And just you know how we are. We just take so many influences from all over the place. You just never know what's gonna end up in a mint condition record, which is very evident if you listen to all the interludes on like, definition of a band and all that. we took it everywhere we could, basically.
Well, I know in my time in the studio with you guys were very experimental in a lot of ways. And I
Yep.
remember just working with Stokely trying to get the sound on a Jamaican steel drum.
The steel drums,
Oh my
yeah,
God, that was. I
yep.
remember. I remember just going home thinking, I didn't win that battle. I'm defeated. That instrument has beat me down, bro.
Man, it's a tough instrument, but it's such a beautiful sound. And what's crazy is when we were doing it back then, we put it on a few records and some interludes and things like that. But it's like I never heard it anywhere else other than in like calypso music or something. And now I hear it everywhere. There's pop joints out there, hip hop joints that got steel drumming in it. So it's
Man,
dope.
it is, in fact, and I know it worked on that record. We got it in there, and it did work. Now, folks, for the technical difficulties, but Kerry's going to hang up, and he's going to call me right back in the meantime, because I want to have a good conversation with him, and I want him to be heard. So in the meantime, we're going to switch it up a little bit and just wait for Kerry to get back on the line. Thanks for tuning in and for helping me with these little things, bruh. Yeah, he's kind of low. I mean, I know we tested it earlier. These things are so tricky, man. You're trying to have a conversation with a brother and sweating at the same time because the technical aspects are beating you down. Man, you need a whole studio. In the meantime, get me on social media, Madjef Music Show. That's where you're probably watching this. You can also get me on Instagram and Twitter as well. And I'm also streaming this to my YouTube channel where I get most of my views at. So waiting for Keri to call me back right now. Oh, Keri's calling in right now, and Keri's here. Let's pop that man. He's in the green room right now. Let's assign him in. My next question for you is leaving the group. Leaving the group. Why did you leave the group, Keri? Everybody wants to know why you left the group, bro. Why did you leave that group?
Man, you know, um, it was like 11 years. We did 4 albums. And I was at a point that I was really starting to write and produce a lot of other stuff. And I just wanted to experience some other stuff, some other energies and music and things like that. I probably wasn't totally necessary for me to leave the group to do that, but at that time, it's kind of how it went down. And but at this point, you know, I'm hoping for a reunion. I'm hoping for another record, another tour, all of it.
Well, if there's any, you guys consist of a group full of gentlemen. That's one of the things about Mint Condition. You were the nicest guys I had ever met in the industry, to be honest with you. So if
I
there's
appreciate that.
if reconciliation is possible, it's possible amongst you guys here. When you're doing stuff like this, come on, man, man, boy, that's nothing. That's nothing to frown at. You got to look at that as a legacy type of thing and understand that legacies continue. You just got to keep it moving.
Definitely,
Stay healthy, eat healthy, and,
definitely.
and keep it moving. So, but working as a
Yep,
freelance producer, that's taking you to different parts of the country. You live out in Vegas now. You living and working in Vegas primarily, right?
yep,
You
yep.
got
Living in Vegas. I still go back and forth to LA quite a bit. Spend a lot of time there, but primarily in Vegas.
so and a lot of people know this. A lot of people may not know this, but you were married to Tony Braxton. People,
I
I got
was, I
people are
was.
asking me like, was he married? Yeah, you were married to Tony
Yep.
Braxton. In fact, you got two beautiful kids, as a matter of fact.
Two beautiful kids. Well, they not kids anymore.
That's
They
right.
they grown men at this point.
How old are they
So,
now, Keri? How old are your boys?
my oldest Denim, he is 19, and my youngest Diesel, he'll be 18 next month.
You see
It's
that.
making me feel real old
I'm
too.
telling you, man, it just flies by. It flies by.
Yeah, it does. It does.
One
But
of
they're
the.
amazing,
That's
and
awesome. That's what
yeah.
matters. They got a great dad, man. You're an even killed guy. And
Oh,
one of the things,
thanks, man.
one of the things about you is that I remember that I thought was most interesting is the way Keri would walk into the room. Kerry's the coolest brother. You see him in person, he walk into the room like, "What's up?" And you just be like, at
Yeah,
ease. You'd be at ease because you're like, "No, it's all good. It's all good." Hey, man, but
everything is good.
so life
Everything is
is,
good.
yeah, life is good, man. It definitely is, bro. And your legacy is amazing, man, and the effect you've had on people with with the music that you've written. I remember when you guys had all that success, and at the height of your success, and you had all these records you were doing, and people were coming to you for more, and we were doing these albums, and we were working our butts off, and people were coming to you and bringing you soundtracks and stuff, and you were like.
Yeah.
You were like one of the first guys. I was like, yo, Keri, I got that Pro Tools rig in my house now, in my basement. You were like, really? What? You were the first producer of any note out of the camp to say, I'm coming to your crib, and we sat up in my crib and did some
I remember
things.
that spot.
Yeah, man,
I
that
remember
was
that
so dope.
spot.
That was so dope, man.
You had it hooked up.
Thanks, man.
You had it
And
hooked up.
that was the early days, and my goal was just to be doing as many independent projects as possible in those days. You know me, I like to mix it
Yeah.
up, and I was like, I know I'm working with Jam and Lewis, but I want to do my own thing too, and so forth. But you were able to, you helped me out a great deal, man, because once guys knew that you were coming to my house, I had Next came to my house after that. Jam and Lewis came, everybody wanted to work at my
Yeah.
crib. I was like, well, Keri did
Yeah.
that. Keri did that.
You
But
was like an extension of the School of Flight Time. We all went to the School of Flight Time.
right,
But
right.
you was like an extension of that. So.
And we all knew that. I mean,
Shoot.
I learned what I learned there. I learned how to make records the same way you learned how to make records there. So, we were
Yeah.
definitely gonna share that wherever I went. I was gonna take that same knowledge with me and apply it to your
Yeah.
project because
Yeah.
I knew we had a standard that we had to maintain. We couldn't be over there in my basement
Yeah.
doing nothing that wasn't great. But the stuff that we were doing
Man.
was stuff like some of the groups you were. What was that? Creamy Delight. We did that joint for
Oh
the.
yeah.
Remember the group Sultry was the
Oh,
group.
Soul
Sultry.
Tree.
You remember
Soul
that?
Tree. Yeah.
Sultry, and then we
Yeah.
had the Good Burger soundtracks and all those things that you guys were
Yeah.
working on. And I'm honored that you guys brought me in and let me cut and mix in some cases
Yeah.
and so forth.
Didn't we work on some Jesse Powell too?
Jesse Powell too, yeah, I forgot all about
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that was a time when
Yeah.
it was just like it was crazy the number
Yeah.
of
They
sessions
they were coming through.
they were coming
They were
at
coming
y'all.
through.
They was giving y'all the
Back in the
work.
days of Lil Silas and all them.
Yeah, Lul was the
Gerald
man.
Busby.
Man, that's what guys were
Yeah.
like. Recognize your talent, oh young man. I recognize your talent and your smartness. I got a project for you. You know what I mean? Let me write this check.
Man, and they would actually come through the studio and
Right.
just kick it
Yeah.
and it's like projects were just born out of that. I loved it.
And
I love them days.
so much has changed. I mean, the industry has changed so much,
It
man,
has.
from those
It
times.
has.
And that's what this show is kind of about. I really want to remind people, or I want to kind of inform people what it was like to be in the studio with a guy like yourself and Mint Condition and a bunch of guys that are just in there that are just creating. Right now, I know for a fact it's being recorded with Keri's voice audible. This will be available as the stream that you can check out live on my YouTube and my Facebook page. So without question, we're going to get this conversation in. And, the devil be working. He worked 24/7, Keri, to try to, yes,
They be trying.
Man, the devil
They
trying
don't
you,
want
bro.
you to be great.
I know. Why, devil?
We gonna be great anyways though.
Listen, speaking of greatness, man, I know that you refuse to be anything but great, bro. And I'm just going to tell you something. I was peeping your new show, the R&B 90s alumni joint.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. That's Keri Lewis. Yo, your show is dope. I mean, without question, Keri.
Thank you, man.
The show
Thank
is
you.
dope. I mean,
Thank
tell me about that. Who better than you to talk about 90s R&B music? What gave you the impulse to do this show, man?
Man, one day I was kind of just thinking about just the whole genre, just 90s in general, and just like I talk to so many people and I see so many things online where just the music that came out at that time, it affected people differently than just about anything. Like I love music from the 70s. I love music from last week, but there's something special about the 90s and it hits people differently, even to this day. And I was like, you know what, it really needs to be celebrated. So I kind of wanted to do something that would do that. And, so far it's just been a lot of fun. Just reminiscing and going back and telling some of the stories and touching on some of the people that just really had a big impact on the genre.
That's incredible, man. And I saw you touching on your own classics at the beginning, and then you stretched out and you started doing some Tony stuff and some other artists. So there's a gigantic catalog of music out there for you to explore. That show has potential upside, bro. I mean, there's no end to that.
There's so much so much. I'm really just getting started with it, you know what I mean? And I'm kind of trying to grow it and, you know, let people become familiar with it. And, you know, with people, help from people like you and grown folks music and a lot of other people out there just kind of spreading the word, helping me out. I really appreciate it. Love it.
No, I think it's a great show, man, and I just glad to see that you're expanding your talents and doing something in addition to, you know, the creative stuff that I know you're always doing, the music you're working on and stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm definitely going to encourage that, and you know, what else I got for you here, man? So life has been good, man. Ups and downs. You know, we all know we move around the country. We try to make things happen. We try to make our families work. You and I have been through a lot of parallel things in life, so I know a lot of what, you know, you've dealt with is similar to what I've dealt with in life, man. And here we are still, Keri. Here we are still connecting, trying to reconnect and be family, bro. And that's what's important.
Like you said, man, it's ups and downs, but like I said earlier, it's nothing can stop you from being great. That's what you want to do.
I refuse. I'm trying to work it out, people. The comments are saying all kinds of things. They just throwing tomatoes at me right now. You don't even understand, bro. They like, how? I'm like, look, man, I wish I could understand, because from one day to the next, it's technology. And I'm going to tell you something. I'll sit up here 2 hours when I got somebody as influential as Keri coming on my show. I'll sit up here for 2 hours and tweak everything to make sure everything's working, and then go live and the stuff still saying, you know, microphone's low or registering low, when it wasn't just doing that just 20 minutes ago when we tested it. But like I said, you sound good to me. People gonna love this when they check this interview, bro. But look, I ain't gonna take up too much more of your time, especially under the circumstances, which got me feeling all sweaty under my clothes. And bro, but just talking to you and seeing you, man, is an amazing thing, because you're an amazing person, super talented guy, bro. I'm so glad you took the time to come out on my show. And you know, as far as, you know, getting together with those guys again, those guys are your family, man. I think you guys should if you guys did another record, people would go ape about the original guys being back together, man.
Let me tell you, I'm pushing.
Well, I got Stokely lined up as a guest too, so, you know, he might push back now that he don't hear your microphone all that clear, and he'd be like, I thought Jeff was an engineer. But Stokely's the man. He got to come on. And he's having some great success, and we love that brother too, man. And you know, he's killing it, man. But so many talented guys. Jeffrey Allen, man, come on, Jeffrey's the man. Odell just made me want to just cut all my guitar strings up. You know what I mean? And Larry, come on, Larry Waddell, keys. You guys are super talented, man. I love you guys, man. Make condition. Ricky, come on, Ricky, come on, man. God, thank you for coming on to my show, bro.
I appreciate you, Jeff.
I appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in to Keri, everybody. This is none other than Keri Lewis. You know the man. The man is suave. He is Keri Lewis from the Mint Condition, a producer. You know, he's a TV host. Check out his show on YouTube. It's the 90s R&B alumni show, and it's really dope, man. I mean, he's just really dissecting music and getting in there deep and talking a little bit about what's going on with 90s music and all that music that you love. Anyway, I'm your host, man. Thanks, Keri, again for coming out here and hanging out with me. I don't know what to say other than my next guest is coming on, and he's Gary Hines. This is a multi-Grammy winner. I got to work my sound out for sure. So if anybody's got any suggestions, hit me up with that. Anyway, look, many fans waiting to see you the next time we can get around to this. But in the meantime, I hope folks will tune in and check out the recorded show that I know is going to have audio clearly defining all your answers and representing you for the true black man that you are. I love you, brother Keri. Until we meet again, my brother. Peace, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Jeff Taylor, they call me Madjef, and I gotta go. Hey, careful now, that's fire. Oh, snap, that's fire, don't burn yourself on the way out. Scooch up against the wall, slide on out. Scooch up against the wall, there we go, all right, everybody out safe.